The week before Resurrection Sunday is called Holy Week, and it's a great opportunity for us to learn from the life of Jesus, look at his life and the things that he did and the things he did not do leading up to his death and resurrection that we can learn from and apply to our lives and prepare for a resurrection. See, you don't just celebrate a resurrection on Resurrection Sunday. You prepare to receive one. This is why Jesus conquered the grave, so that we could receive that same resurrection, but we have to be prepared for it. And the best way to prepare is, well, it's to do what Jesus did, because we're Jesus followers. So what we've seen so far is that Jesus prepared for his death and resurrection by walking humbly. His life was marked by humility. And then we see that he just marched with a mission. He knew what his purpose was, and he didn't let anything distract him or pull him away from his mission. And today, I want to talk about something that's unavoidable when we talk about Jesus and how he prepared, but more importantly, how he lived. During Holy Week, one of the things that really stands out in the account of Jesus's death, leading up to his death, is the fact that Jesus took great pains to serve his people. You cannot talk about Jesus without talking about him being a servant. It was one of his life missions. He said dozens of times throughout his ministry that the Son of Man, or Jesus, the Son of God, he came not to be served, but to serve. He said that over and over and over again. And then he would tell his disciples that the greatest people in the kingdom that he was establishing were servants, that to be first, you had to be last. You had to serve others. Now, this should not come as a surprise to us that on his last week, he served other people. This is what he did. This is a surprise, though, because of all the people who have ever walked on this planet, the one man who did deserve to be served was our Savior Jesus. He was perfect. He was loving. He was king. And he was the creator of the universe. The creator of the universe, according to Ephesians, everything that we see was made by, for, and through him. He came here and lived as a human. If the king of the universe shows up, you would expect him to be served. But he didn't. In fact, he never did. He chose to use his power, to use his authority, to use all that he was to serve other people. And on Passover night, when he was celebrating with his disciples, he did something that was remarkable. He took on the form of the lowest possible servant. See, in a household, if you were celebrating, and if it was a household that owned slaves, the lowest ranking slave, the slave that cost the least, the slave that did the least, the slave that, well, he wasn't just worth very much. That slave's job was to wash the dirty feet of the people in the room. And what do you see Jesus doing Passover night? Taking a towel and kneeling at the feet of his disciples and washing their feet like a slave, like the lowest slave in the house. His message had to leave an indelible mark on their life. It had to leave an impression on their heart that they would never forget. That is, on the night before Jesus was killed, he washed our feet like a servant. He fulfilled all the words that he said, that he came to serve others, not for others to serve him. So what do we take with that? What do we do with that? Well, I think we follow that example wherever, whenever, and however we can. If we're going to follow Jesus, if we're going to receive the resurrection he wants to give us, then we too must be servants. We must seek to serve others, not to be served ourselves. And let me just suggest two things that you can do. One is consistently serve. Have a systematic place or time or area or ministry or something. Have a consistent place where you serve consistently, maybe every week or maybe every month, but there's a place, a group of people, there's something that you do, that you are planning to do on a regular basis to serve. This is what Passover was for Jesus. It was an ongoing thing, and it was always a place where he served. But then also learn to be a servant spontaneously. When you see a need, meet a need. If there's something you can do in a spontaneous situation, jump in and serve other people. And the greatest test of your faith, I think, the greatest test of your integrity, the greatest test of who you are as a Jesus follower is, are you willing to serve somebody who can't do anything back for you? Are you willing to serve somebody and not expect anything back for you? Jesus said, the Son of Man came to serve, not to be served. If we're going to follow him, we must serve too. That's how you prepare for a resurrection. See you later.